Many issues on the table, making it a very, very important election. But now, currently, there are three frontline candidates: the Olumide Akpata of the Labour Party, Aso Ighodalo of the PDP, and of course, Monday Okpebholo of the APC. One thing that I have spoken about in the past is this seeming method of operation where the handlers of former President Buhari and current President Bola Tinubu thought it was wise back then and even now to somehow shield their principal from media scrutiny. President Buhari back then ran 8 years with barely any media chats or press interviews to answer burning questions about where he was taking Nigeria. Our current president seems to be following the exact same script. Since he became president, he has also barely granted any media chats or made himself available to be interviewed by journalists. Now, in a sane society, this should be a very red flag, and history has shown that it never ends well. Now, one of the candidates for the Edo State election seems to be running his whole campaign through third-party voices, having other people go to radio and television interviews to speak on his behalf, even though he has been invited more than a few times. He just somehow has not been able to get himself to honor any of these interviews to share with the wider public, but most importantly with the people of Edo State, his good plans for the state if elected as governor. He seems to be running away from the media. One of the main things that will connect him with the people, the media, one of the main things that will connect him with the people that he claims to want to serve. Now, to be clear, interviews, public conversations, engagements, media chat, these are not just formalities. They are the foundation of any healthy democracy, because not only does it give the people a chance to hear you break down your plans bit by bit for them, it also shows that you value the people whose votes you seek and you are open to public scrutiny as a leader. But this candidate, the one who wants to lead and continues to avoid every opportunity to speak directly to the people or to be interviewed, and I think it's very, very strange. It tells a very important point, that very candidate doesn't respect you, the voter, enough, and he's audacious enough to believe that he can run a whole campaign without press interviews and still have you vote for him. That's what it tells. That he believes within himself that he can run a whole campaign by simply putting up campaign posters without being interviewed, without putting himself through scrutiny, without, journalists, asking him tough questions. He believes that he can run that whole campaign and still get your votes and win. It's baffling. Because how else does he hope to earn the trust of Edo people without speaking to them, without answering tough questions? I have always argued that a person who doesn't make himself available for media chats or scrutiny doesn't deserve one single vote, because he or she hasn't shown that they are open to being held accountable or knowledgeable enough about their plans. Elections are beyond just promises or campaign posters or speeches at those mega rallies. They're about dialogue, they're about engagement and accountability. So for a candidate to consistently dodge interviews, it's not just bad optics, it is bad for democracy. And so to those around that particular candidate, how do you hope to win the hearts and votes of the millions of Edo indigents when your candidate refuses to grant media interviews? It is again my opinion that any candidate in
Right. You guys have watched this podcast. You've seen for yourself, you hear for yourself. To be honest, yeah, no one is holding grudges to anyone. To be honest, it's just a straightforward thing. You guys can seriously understand. This has nothing to do with sentiment. Why can't him just come out and tell us, okay, these are the way things are right now? And so it has nothing to do with sentiment at all. He should just come out, talk to us. So with his candidates coming out saying, "Oh, he cannot come and talk, he cannot come and say anything. You want to say anything, they have to pay him to come and speak." And those states does not have. We the Edo indigenes, we don't have data. We cannot make a phone call. But you forget something, that we the indigenes of Edo State, we who live in abroad, most especially we who live in abroad, we can speak to family member. We are the one, we can even make decisions and say to families, go and vote, don't go and vote. True or false? For those of you who are watching, you can say that. We can decide to tell them, go and vote and don't vote. This is who we want you to vote for. Because we see more. We even recharge their phones. We recharge their phones. And come to think of it, the indigents of Nigerians, they're even the one most online on social media than any. The statistics are there than people even in abroad. They've said it. You think they off their phone, they on it, they use it to watch the things that are important to them. So coming to tell us and making it look like we don't know what we're talking about, that's not what we want. We want him to just come out and tell us his manifesto and ask him simple questions so that tomorrow, if it doesn't go well, we don't know, maybe something is going on. We have him to answer those questions and say to him, you told us XYZ. Now, XYZ is not XYZ. Why is it like this? He can be able to defend himself. But right now, if anything happens tomorrow, he wins or he takes that position, we cannot ask him questions. Even if we ask him, he'll tell you, did you hear it from my mouth? Did I say that to you? Did I speak to you guys? So where is this coming from? Yeah, he has the right to say that. So why is it that Nigerians with the Edos cannot speak up to get this man out to come and talk? Does he need to be sending people to come out? So you want to tell me now, when he gets into power, we cannot even reach him, cannot even speak to him, we cannot talk to him. You have to go through back doors to speak to him, even if he's like that these days. But once we know we can talk to him, all the social media platforms, the ITV, the news, the whatever, all want to speak to him. And you guys keep telling us, oh, didn't you see him speaking on TV? Did you hear him speaking on TV? We did not. We want to hear him. We want to ask him important questions. So please get him and let us talk to him. And let's take advice from him. We love him, we don't hate him. He's our Edo person. Let him come and talk to us. People like me, I just want to know. So that one day me and my child or children or people can get ready and come back to Africa to come and do the right things. All right? Thank you so much and thank you for listening.